In this video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to use the new large square seam box from the John Next Door collection. Now, this is larger than the previous square seam box, which was just under, it was designed to fit on a 5-inch card. This is designed to fit on a 6 or 7-inch card, and it's the largest box that we can make from one piece of card. In the set, you get the actual base itself, and you get this panel, which can be used basically as an insert to go inside, or could be cut in to give you a very fine frame. But it's designed to work with other nesting dies and other dies in the John Next Door and other brand collections to give you a beautiful frame depending on what you put in the middle. So for this project, I'm actually going to bring in the press cut nesting circles, and these are the mathematically correct ones, to give us a beautiful circle aperture in our frame. So I'm going to start, I've got a piece of white textured card here, and I'm going to start by just popping the die down. You must make sure that it's even on each side. It is literally the size of a piece of A4 card. And we're just going to tape that down. I'm then going to take the largest circle from the nesting set, which is the 5-inch, and I'm going to evenly place that in the middle to create my aperture in my box. So we're just going to tape that down, and we'll run that through our die cutting machine. So I'll run that through, but I do have a piece that I've already cut ready to show you. So as that's going through, I'll bring the piece in that I've got. So here's the piece when it's cut, and all the lines are embossed on it. So all you need to do is simply trim down and fold. So face down and fold each of those lines. Just like this, and then fold each little tab in, just like that. So we're then going to need to actually start putting our box together. So I'm using 10 or 9mm power tape. You want to use something like power tape or a red line tape. You don't want to use finger lift tape, and certainly not tape pens, as you need a little strength. And on 3 sides, we're going to put the tape on the last tab on the front. This will give you 3 to make up the box. So I'm just adding the tape onto those 3 sides. So on 3 sides on the front, then turn it over, and on the last side, which will be the top, we want to put that onto the back. What you then want to do is pop a little bit of tape, and here's what I've already done, onto the tabs themselves. And all we're going to do now is to reveal the tape. So you want to reveal all the little bits of tape apart from the one on the back and the 2 little tabs there. Okay. Then simply take a piece of card. Now you want to cut this with a guillotine or a trimmer, or you can use a die. You want to cut this to approximately 5 7/8. And I'm going to marry it up at the bottom onto this first tab, just there like that. So going to one side, fold your little tab in, fold your pieces in, and attach your little tab first. Then fold in the side and pull the top section to there, pressing down to make your first sealed area. And it's a little tab in there that means that if you put acetate in this, it will make a perfect shaker box, as nothing can leak because this corner is completely covered. You repeat the same on the other side. So we'll put our little tab in first, make sure that's stuck down. We then turn our other piece in, pull to that side there, and press down. And again, you can either go in from the top of the box or in through the aperture. And you can see there now, if we fold those in just to show you, you have a perfect sealed box. And this is absolutely spot on for if you want to put raised flowers, or you want to put foam flowers, or something in that you don't want to be crushed, because this is completely solid for postage. And it's been designed as well of a width of 1/2 inch, meaning that even with a card and everything on here, you can send this through the post as a large letter. So it helps protect everything and means you don't need a box for your cards. So that's the basic makeup of the box. However, we can play with and use other sections in here. So I'm going to bring in another piece, and I've got the tape on here, but as you can see, but this time I want to add a little bit of detail. So I've cut two pieces, one in green and one in white, to 5 3/4 inches. And that means that these will fit in this aperture, but give me a little bit of room to get them in the right place. So I'm going to go with the green, and I'm going to cut this one, and I'm going down a die. So this one is 4 3/4. I'm going down the next die for the white, and I'm going to cut this at 4 1/2, meaning I get an even layer all the way around. So again, we're just simply going to pop those onto our die cutting plates, and we'll cut those two pieces. So we'll run those through. I have got these pieces already cut, just to show you. So you can see here, I've cut both of those pieces, and I've already glued them together to give me that nice rim all the way around. So we're simply going to add those into our box. And to add a little bit of depth and dimension, because the fab thing about the box is that we get depth and dimension in it. I'll pull the plates out of the machine if you were wondering what the noise was. So I'm going to take a little bit of foam tape, and I'm just going to run that around the inside of the square. So you can see, if we fold up each side, you can see where that line is. So we're just going to fold these inside. Again, to give us that little bit of dimension, and everything is hidden. That's the fantastic thing about using a seam box die. We hide all of the tape inside, so you don't see it from the sides. So check the front, and if there's anywhere that it comes over, I'm just going to use my scissors to cut those little bits off. Or you could use a thinner shaker tape. I always like to use the 10mm tape, so we don't see through. We then simply take off our tape, and I'm going to take the circles nesting that I've already cut, and I'm going to match up to give me that beautiful area there. And you can see, because we cut it smaller, it fits in. But all of this that you could see potentially at the back and the sides, of course, is covered by the box. So when we fold that together, we have the perfect aperture running through. So I'm just going to add a little bit more tape on, just to the tabs, as I've missed those off, just so I can make this up. And again, we will make this one up. So a little bit of tape, there we go, going through all of those. Simple. And as I said, we need a panel for the back, so I want to show you how we would do that. So again, you can use the die that comes in the set, but that makes it a little bit smaller. If you want it to fit exactly, go into your guillotine or your trimmer and just go to, effectively, I tend to go to 5 3/4 and sort of almost just a little bit below. But again, 5 3/4 will, 5 7/8 will fit exactly. Never the best with measurements when I'm doing videos. So again, we reveal the tape for the tabs, and I can't strongly suggest enough that you use either a wet glue, which you would need to peg, or you use power tape, failing that, red line tape. But don't use your standard finger lift tape. It really will not stick. Your box will pop apart. So again, here we go. So once again, take the base, marry it up to this first flap, pop your tab in and stick your tab, fold in your flap, pull to your flap, and there we go. Repeat on the other side, so tab in and then fold in your base, your side flap, meet it together and press. And again, you can pop your fingers in unless you put some acetate into here. And I will do another video at a later stage where we show you actually how to make a sort of snowy scene with this with acetate. So there we have our box. Again, that will close up. And we have our perfect aperture in the center. So now we're going to decorate this. So I'm going to use the waste pieces. So I've cut out, using the die, the piece to fit inside. And you can see that covers over any of the flaps or anything that you may see. So we're going to stick that in first. And again, little bits of power tape. You can use a wet glue or anything you want on this. Just a little bit to make it nice and stable. Reveal the tape. And we're simply going to slide that in. Once we're happy, we can press either from the front or from inside. So we've now made a beautiful piece for the center. And using the pieces that fell out, I've stamped the sentiment and I've made a little circle. So this time we want to use a wet glue because we want to make sure we get this in the right place. So taking your wet glue, and I'm using the Craft Artist Super Tacky glue, a little bit on there, and we can then slide that in. And because we've used the wet glue, we can use our poker tool or anything, and we can move that around until we've got it even and straight. Once we're happy that it's right, then give it a press, and that's in there. And then it's simply a case of decorating this. So I'm going to finish off my box by taking the seal off, popping my tabs down, and closing my box by using the back. And this gives us a lot easier way to seal it than trying to tuck it inside. And again, it's completely neat and finished. You could just put a stand on that and it's done. But we're going to put some decoration in. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Craft Artist Super Tacky glue, put it out on my mat. And then I have here some of the sunflower leaves from the John Next Door collection. And I'm just going to start arranging those around, so dipping them in the glue as it's speedier. But you can see how we can get that beautiful. Let's snip that off. Everything is contained, so where we've actually shaped these leaves, they will keep their shaping. It can't be crushed in the post. So let's take another little one of those. Perhaps I'm going to take this base off, a little bit of glue, pop that one in, and we'll take another one of those. And these leaves from the sunflower collection go left and right, so they're so easy to work around a circle because you can see they go left and right. And then I've made, using the sunflower, these which are more like sort of daisies or Michaelmas daisies. But again, I can really 3D these as the box will protect them. And we can tuck those in. So I'm just going to pop a few of these in, using the glue to pick them up. And again, you can see there we're creating almost a 3D scene, all protected. So let's take a little bit more glue. There we go, pop him in there. Oh, and I think one in that top corner will do. And there we've got a beautiful little collection of daisies. And then all I've done is take a larger card blanket, 8 by 8, and I've matted it with some of this sort of apricot colour and then some of the same green I've used in the basin for the leaves, so that I can put that on. And we'll simply turn that over. There we go. A little bit of glue on the back. We can frame that on. And we've got a perfect card, easy to post and send. The flowers are connected in there and kept in the right place. And again, when we look from the side, from the top, it's got a professional finish. We're not seeing layers and layers and layers of foam tape. It's keeping everything neat. So a very simple way to use a square seam box and to put it together. You can see here where we've got the basic box, then how we've decorated it.